We're back with Andrew Feldman and Lauren Claffey. We're here to talk about night 2 of the Democratic debate.
Right.
It's tonight. General predictions. First, let's go over the lineup. We've got Michael Bennet, Kristen Gillibrand, Julian Castro, Cory Booker, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Andrew Yang, Tulsi Gabbard, Jay Inslee, and Bill de Blasio. It's kind of interesting not to have the 2 flagship progressive candidates on the stage, Andrew. How are they going to have to balance that on the stage to really show what they're all about?
Look, this debate is all about let's go after Biden and see if we can knock him out.
Yeah.
That's what this debate is about. I think Biden just kind of has to duck and cover and survive, right? If he performs like he did in the first debate, there's real trouble in the Biden camp.
Yeah.
My question is, Biden knows he performed bad. He said that for the last month. Does he step up to the plate? Does he perform like he did in those 2008 debates where he was a strong debater, or does he fall on his face? My bet would be that it's somewhere in the middle.
Lauren, he's got a lot. Biden has a lot at stake tonight. I think Andrew is absolutely right about that.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And I think that he comes out swinging. He has to. And I mean, especially the fact after the last debate that he acted like he was very surprised that Harris would come after him.
What do you think we're doing here?
Yeah, he was like, we're friends. I don't get it. She knows my son. So, I think that kind of probably reset what he needs to do with the debates and what's expected of him.
Yeah.
And so he's really got to overperform, I think, on this one and go after people.
I was talking about this earlier. What do you think? Which is that Biden cannot really defend like Bernie. So Bernie came out. He was much more swinging against the other people. But Biden, there is a real risk here that A, the things he's defending are not popular in the Democratic primary today. But B, he could come off as vindictive and nasty in a way that Bernie, because of his authenticity on these issues, just can't. What do you think about that?
I think it's always a fine line, but I don't think that's just Biden that has to worry about that.
Yeah.
That is a fine line that, that is why you debate prep.
Yes.
Right? You have to practice because you don't want to alienate the voters that you're trying to get away from that candidate that you're attacking. So it has to be, in one stance, a very substantial attack that frames them a way that you can have a direct contrast and pull those voters away without seeming as though you are not somebody that is authentic, that people can get behind, that they like, right? It has to be coupled with your own policy solution and also a message of hope and likability.
Yeah.
I mean, that is why these debates are so hard.
I mean, that was the problem last time, that likability piece.
Right.
He came off very crabby and defensive when he got hit by Kamala. I'm just wondering what T-shirt she's got made up to sell tonight after she's going to see on.
Look, it's hard for Joe Biden, right? For a number of reasons. One, he has a bit of ego at this point in his career.
Fair.
And
as
so,
many of them do, we should say.
Right, but I think there's a level now. He's been vice president. I think as he gets hit, he needs to make sure as you said, Crystal, doesn't come off as angry, and he needs to make sure he doesn't come off as not up for the task.
Right.
I thought, and I know. There was a question on the debate stage last night about age. I don't really want to dive into age, but I do think that Biden in the last debate looked old and looked weathered. I mean, can he come off tonight as someone who can still take those punches and fight through them? I mean, and also, if I was Joe Biden, I wouldn't go name drop senators from the 1980s and the 1970s. People don't know who they are. Like, people don't connect that you did this bipartisanship bill with someone in 1975.
Right. And when they do know who those people are, that's not always a good thing.
Yeah, they're racist.
Like, well, that guy.
He's name dropping senators who were literally around before Pete Buttigieg was alive.
Right.
That's
right. Lauren, I think one potentially interesting dynamic on the stage could be that between Tulsi Gabbard and Joe Biden, because you don't actually have most of the sort of more pure strain of the progressive wing on the stage. However, Tulsi has a very distinct and very different view on foreign policy than Joe Biden, who's been complicit in many of the forever wars. I think that could be one area where he takes some hits and sustains some blows tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. But the question is, how much does Tulsi's message, especially regarding foreign policy, actually resonate with moderates in the party? It may with the far left, but at the end of the day, I mean, this is an election that is going to be won in states like Pennsylvania and Michigan.
Yeah.
So So, it may be that Biden just makes the calculus that he is okay being framed that way, and he will defend, for example, his role in killing Osama bin Laden and some of those more patriotic moments that we have.
As far as I know, was being inside the room.
Yeah, being inside the room, making the decision, so I think that is something that he can defend in a way that, is actually pro-America. And
well, Trump's call to get us out of these wars was very popular when he ran. And even more controversial in the Republican Party than, he was the one who said 9/11 was a mistake on the Republican debate stage, which was kind of incredible, to Jeb Bush.
Yeah, I think that the real thing that is going to be interesting is seeing him maybe atone for Iraq. Because this is always the main thing with Joe Biden is like, there is a record miles long that anybody could bring up at any time, and he has to be prepared. Has he talked about Anita Hill yet? That's probably going to cut up. He's now busing. Who knows? God knows what could come from where, from the 40-year career that the man has had. I think actually the most interesting thing is I heard that Christian Gillibrand, I'd read a story in Axios about this, is doing deep dive researching into his records on the child tax credit and family policy. So it's possible, Andrew, she could even come at him from that angle, and it could become a problem.
The question is, question with Kirsten Gillibrand is, can she land the punch?
Yeah.
I thought last time in the debate she was trying, her and Bill de Blasio were trying so hard that it came off as forced. They need to make sure if they want to get in this, they need to make that calculation to land it well and not run off the runway.
Here's what I think could happen is with the Kirsten Gillibrand or even a Tulsi Gabbard or others, I think you have people who could potentially land a blow that hurts Biden but doesn't elevate themselves. Like I could see Cory Booker is an example of that.
Yeah.
Cory knows how to fight. He's been in debates before. He's a very skilled orator. He's very mentally agile. I could see him landing some significant blows on Biden that hurt Biden but don't really do much for Cory Booker.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely a risk, and I think the race issue is probably going to be his line of attack for that. He's going to look to once again position himself as the representative and pull away some of those African American votes. So I think that Biden's probably expecting that, though. So it may be different from this time. He makes the attack, it doesn't land because not only is it not well placed, but Biden's there to deflect from it.
Yeah.
Deflect. I was the vice president of the first African American president.
Yeah.
Hello, black voters.
That's what he's riding on.
Yeah.
No, and he's not wrong. That's why most of them like him. It very much is. What I found so interesting was the reaction in the black community after Kamala attacked Joe Biden. It was very much hey, don't attack the vice president of the first black president that we worked very hard for. We talked about it on this show. It's actually an age divide amongst black voters, and especially in places like South Carolina, where they look at Obama and much of Biden's record, and they say, hey, he fought for us. He was with Obama. It took us decades to even get to that point. So don't go around trying to hit, busing, which, by the way, was not very popular amongst blacks in the first place. It's just something I find, it's a dynamic that Cory Booker and Kamala are going to have a difficult time working around in the debate.
But that's the ballgame.
Yeah.
Because if you don't shake African American support from Biden, then he's the nominee. That's the ballgame right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've seen Kamala really try to do that in South Carolina, especially where he has an especially strong
And it hasn't worked.
poll.
Yeah, and it hasn't worked at all.
Yeah,
The African American polling numbers for Biden are off the charts, and they've come back to where they were and maybe even grown since that first debate.
Yeah.
But Andrew, I think your point is the right one. It's not going to be they move off of him because of his position on busing. That feels like a long time ago. They would move off of him. A lot of voters, this isn't just specific to the African American community, a lot of voters will move off him if they don't feel he's electable.
Yes.
If they don't feel he's up to the task, as you put it, Andrew.
Yep.
To me, that's the danger, and especially with arrows coming from so many disparate directions over the record of 40 years, like you point out, Sagar. That requires a lot of nimbleness to be able to handle.
And there's no one else to hit on this debate stage. Last night there were 2 or 3 people to go after. When I look at this debate, to me it feels pretty weak.
Yeah.
And everyone is coming to try to get a leg up.
Well, you've got Julian Castro, who, last time his strategy was interesting. He decided he was going to punch not all the way up, but at Beto, who was like right above him in the polling and just totally
He swapped him,
demolished that guy.
basically,
So
Right, but now
I
what's he going to do?
wonder
Hit
who,
Kamala?
I know.
Like,
I
it's-
think Julian is going to go straight for Joe Biden. I think you're right. I mean, Joe Biden's got a lot of record on immigration to defend from a far left point of view. I mean, the Obama-Biden administration, what is it, record numbers of deportations? That's something that's certainly going to come up. And Julian,
point.
if many way, can be somebody who can drag the field left just like he did in the last debate on immigration, leaving Biden even more exposed, right, Lauren?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he's got a lot to lose on this debate because he is not polling where he is going to be on any other debate stage going forward. So he's just going to have to lay it all out there.
Right.
I mean, what else is he going to do at this point? He's got to make some sort of stand and get some sort of constituency around him, and so he's got to have a real standout night in order to proceed on.
All right, last quick question. Headline tomorrow morning. What do you think it'll be?
Yeah, I think it's going to be around Biden, right? Like Biden survives, Biden
attack,
deflects, Biden attack, something.
Biden campaign and
Biden
free fall.
sinks.
Yeah.
It's one of the two.
I don't think it'll be that.
It's one or two.
You're
It's
right,
either
it's binary.
Biden survives, or Biden campaign in deep trouble.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That was great, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll have to
Thanks
see.
for having
See
us.
who's right.
Tomorrow on Rising, Republican Congressman Rick Crawford. He speaks with us about his colleague and the new nominee for Director of National Intelligence, Congressman John Radcliffe.
And obviously, we're going to cover night 2 of the Democratic primary debates. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Hill TV Live. We post lots of behind-the-scenes photos and all sorts of jewels with sneak peeks at upcoming interviews and so much more. And also, very important, remember to subscribe to The Hill's YouTube channel. Click the bell so you get notified when we post new stuff. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.